beg for mercy, or demand justice. I made my choice, and I still choose justice every single day. Life is tough, but as I tell my kids, life is tough, but nothing worth doing is easy. It's the sweat and the toil that makes the victory sweet. So many of our fellow Americans now are starting, they want other people to decide for them what to do. When it comes to our problems in our own life and in our country, we have to face reality. If we won't face our problems in our own individual life, how can we expect the invisible hand to fix anything? It will take us off the wrong course. It's human for us to look away from our problems. It's called denial. But if we do deny the problems that we have, if our neighbors don't wake up, well, then we can't solve the big problems of the nature, and denial leads to dependency. They go hand in hand, whether you're talking about a bottle of Jack Daniels or a welfare check. And then what happens? Then the people involved, and I know firsthand, begin to lose hope that we can ever be more than what we are today, that tomorrow will ever get any better. It won't. They start to believe. How many polls now tell us that that's exactly what Americans believe, that our children will not be better off tomorrow than they are today? This is becoming not an American dream, but an American nightmare, because if we dream it, no matter what it is, good or bad, we will eventually believe it, and we will then become it, because all thought is created. All of it. If we believe that our children will not be better off, that we will not recover, that we cannot be self-sufficient, we will become dependent, and we will need somebody else to help us through our days as individuals and as a people and as a nation. We'll lose the ability to solve our own problems, to see our challenges as not as problems but as opportunities, to look at life's ups and downs and treat both imposters exactly the same. And then look at life as an adventure to conquer or a mountain to climb. If you lose that, then you become gripped by fear. And when you do, then you're defined by fear. But I'm here to tell you that's not who we are. Fear or courage? I choose courage. We have to stand and choose courage every single day. It took courage to get where we are. It will take courage to write the next chapter of America. It took courage for Ronald Reagan to bring down the wall. It took courage for him to say, the Soviet Union is an evil empire. We must begin to speak the truth to each other. We must be able to call evil and look at it right smack in the eye and say, that, sir, is evil. When Ronald Reagan called it an evil empire, he was only starting. Most people don't know that when he went to Berlin to tell them to tear down the wall, there was one phrase that he wrote. And when he got the speech back, the speechwriters had taken it out. He said, where's that line? They said, oh, Mr. Reagan, you can't say that. He said, well, I'm going to say it. Well, you can't say that. He said, put it back in the speech. They got into the airplane, and he was going over the speech again, and they had removed it from the speech again, and he called everybody in, and he said, where's the line? Oh, Mr. Reagan, you can't say that. Put it back in, I'm going to say it. Well, he was on his way to give the speech in Berlin, and they had somebody from the State Department in the car with him and said, Mr. President, you cannot say that line. He said, I understand. When he stepped up, it wasn't in his teleprompter, but he said the line, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. It takes courage. When Ronald Reagan stood on the steps of the Capitol in 1981, he said the government isn't the solution to our problems. The government is the problem. right, something that is real, most likely you're going to have to stand alone for a long period of time. And you're going to have to keep showing people facts over and over again, rolling out the same points and going, you really don't get this yet? Truth, truth, truth. And you have to wait patiently. You have to keep saying, there is truth. And you have to work for what you believe in. People are not just going to come around to your point of view one day through osmosis. You have to fight. You have to keep pushing. You have to take action every single day. And we know it because we've seen it before throughout history. The father of Judeo-Christian civilization is Abraham. They call Abraham Ivri in Hebrew. Ivri. What does the word Ivri even mean? It means the other. Literally, the other. In Abraham's time, everybody would worship stone idols. Everybody had a whole series of gods carved in stone. They were like, hey, this is the god of Cheerios or whatever. Abraham smashed all the idols. He believed that there was only one God. And think about how unusual this was. Everybody had all their stone idols. He said there's only one God, and I can't make one of my God. I can't make an idol of my God, and I couldn't anyway because you can't see him. That made him the other. If everyone worships idols around you, and you worship only one God that nobody can see, that makes you kind of stand out, the other. But what Abraham believed was true. He believed in something that eventually changed the course of human history. When he recognized one God, he brought God into our lives, and that was the tremendous moment in history because we began to behave differently. We stopped the human sacrifices for one thing, and then we started to look into a moral code, and we started to pursue justice and practice charity. We began to choose life, and we began to live